Hello students, today we'll discuss some new topics. Last day we have discussed different topics related with function, unparameterized function, parameterized function and return type function. Today we'll discuss a new topic, object as an argument. How to pass object and as argument. In the previous section you have seen that we have passed only primitive data type values as an argument, but today we'll know that how to pass object as an argument. So first of all, I'm going to create a class cl int I void test, and inside this function I am passing an object clob. I have changed the name. Instead of ob I have given ob because obj will take in main, and here I equal to ob dot I equal to 20. Okay, void show system dot out dot println I. Okay, now we are creating another class. Suppose class cl1 public static void main string ar. This time we will create two objects, clobj1 equal to new cl, and one more object cl obj2 equal to new cl. Okay, just I am making the program a little bit short. Remove it, keep only one method and pass ob cl ob of cl, and try to print ob dot I, then it will be more clear. In show function we have passed a class type reference. Here ob is called a reference variable of class cl. ob will be called a reference variable, and using this reference variable we are accessing the variable I. Now suppose obj1 dot I equal to 10, and by using obj2 I am calling obj2 dot show. As here the parameter is of class type, so here also at the time of calling we will have to pass the class type variable, and that is, we know, only the object. So this time I am passing obj1. Okay, save the file cl1 dot java, because the main class is cl1. Now take command line javac cl1 dot java. Okay, let's remove it, save javac cl1 dot java. Initially it takes some time. Yeah, program compiled. Now java cl1, you will see 10. However, we are calling the function show using obj1, but we are getting the value using obj1. Why it happens? Let's wait. I'm just opening the marker. Okay, what's happening here? I told you that first of all, as you create the object, create a box and give the name obj 1, it's obj1, and second box obj2, give its name obj2. Okay, now as you create the object, you have to mention the members. Here is also show, and in this function also you have a variable I and show function. Okay, now what's happening here? Here you have initialized the variable I with obj1, so the value 10 will be assigned in I of obj1. Here the value will come 10, and to call a method you need an object. You have called obj2.show, but whatever you are passing obj1, so this obj1 will be assigned in this ob. It means ob and obj1 both are same, both are referring the same class. So if you write here ob.I, this ob.I means 10. It means what will it print? 10. Clear? Now suppose I am writing here obj1 dot show, and inside it we are passing obj1. What will we get? 10 and 10. We'll get 10 and 10. It doesn't matter that by using which object we are calling the function. It's an important point that what are the arguments passed inside it, and according to the object passed inside it, the value will be accessed. Clear? Now wait just a moment. Now the next topic is call by value and call by reference. So let's discuss first it. Call by value. What is call by value? If the values just wait a moment, just I am defining it. If the changes made in the formal parameters does not affect the actual parameter, then it is called call by value. If the changes made in formal parameters does not affect the actual parameter. Let's once revise what are actual parameters and formal parameters. The value that you are passing at the time of calling is called actual parameter, and the variables passed in function definition are called formal parameters. Once again, the values passed in function calling are called actual parameters, and the variables passed in function definition are called formal parameters. So how this call by value can be implemented? Let's do it here. First of all, void show. Okay, just I'm doing directly, and here create the object of class CL, CL obj equal to new CL. Okay, here declare a variable int I equal to 10, and call obj dot show and pass the variable I inside it, and we have passing a variable integer type, so here one variable should be used. Now change the variable a by using a++. What will happen here? Here the variable I has value 10, and you are passing I. This time the value of I is 10. Okay, now as you call this function, the control will be transferred to here, and the value a will get the value 10. Clear? If you make any changes in a, the value of a will be 11. So if you make any changes in a, that will not be reflected in I. Why? Because in the memory, if you have declared I, it will take some location, and as you declare a, it will take another location. The changes made in a, if initial value of a is here 10, and after changing it becomes 11, this value will not be reflected in I. So the initial value of I will remain as it is, it means 10. Clear? So if you print these values, here I am printing the value system.out.println before call by value, I equal to plus I. Okay, and after call by value, this is call by value because we are sending the value, and functions is being called by using the value, so it will be after call by value I equal to I. So we are going to print and then see the changes. Make the comments here. Before call by value 10 and after call by value 10. What happened? There is no change, and this is the definition formal parameter. Here I is called actual parameter, and here int a will be called formal parameter. So whatever you make changes in the formal parameter will not be reflected in the actual parameter. Clear? Once again I am defining these two: actual parameter, the values or the variables having values passed at the time of calling in a function are called actual parameters. Okay, and what are formal parameters? The values, sorry, these are not the values, these are only the variables passed in function definition are called the formal parameters. Okay, so there should be no confusion. Actually this is actual and this is formal, So it's compulsory that that actual parameter must have a value. If it is a value, then it must have a value. If it is a variable, it must have a value. But a formal parameter gets their values, formal parameters get their values from the actual parameter. If you don't pass here the value, the variable in parameter will not have any value. It gets its value from actual parameter. Clear? So I write here the variable, and in this case I have written here values or the variables. Here you can also pass directly the value, or the variable must have some value. Clear? So this is actual call by value. It means what happens in call by value. Let's revise once again. Whatever we make changes in the formal parameter, this change is not reflected in the actual parameter. Clear? Now let us see call by reference. Call by reference. If just I am taking the same definition so that you can look the changes. If the changes made in the formal parameter, changes made in the formal parameter are reflected in the actual parameter, then it is called call by reference. Call by reference. Okay, here you can also use the same keyword as same word, reflect in the actual parameter. This will be better, so that you can easily learn the difference between two. Does not reflect, call by value. Reflect, call by reference. Now let us see the example. In this case, I am going to declare here a variable int a. Okay, and if it is a call by reference, then here we will have to pass clob, and here ob dot I plus plus, ob dot I plus plus. Now if you have already declared the value, so before call by value, I am just assigning the value ob dot I equal to 10, ob dot a equal to, I am taking I, it's my habit to take I in general format, ob dot I equal to 10, and system dot out dot println before call by reference ob dot I. Now here pass object as an argument, obj dot psi show obj, that as we have passed in the previous program, object as an argument after call by reference and print ob dot I. Clear? Initially what happens, let's discuss first. Here ob dot I equal to 10, so it will just print, we are not calling any function, so it will print ob dot I 10. Here we have passed obj, and this obj has been assigned in reference variable ob, so ob and obj will refer the same class. It means ob dot I will refer obj dot I, and obj dot I equal to plus plus means 11. Okay, here obj is the object, not obj, here obj is the object. Clear? So here ob dot I equal to 11, and so here obj dot I will also print 11. Before 10 and after 11. What happens? Let's discuss once again. Here in the class CL, we have declared a variable int I. Okay, int I, and from here we have created the object. By using this object, we have accessed variable I obj dot I equal to 10, and as we have not called any function, so if we print obj dot I, it will print 10. Simply you make a diagram. it will be much more clear. This is obj. It has a function, it has a variable I and function show. Okay. Now what happens here? Obj dot I equal to 10. Here obj dot I equal to 10. Now as you call this function show, this obj will be assigned in ob. This obj will be assigned in ob. It means ob and obj both refer the same class. It means whatever is the value of obj dot I, that will also be the value of ob dot I, and we have already assigned I, obj dot I equal to 10. So this I equal to 10, this I equal to 10. It means ob dot I is also equal to 10. If you make ob dot I plus plus, it means ob dot I will be incremented to 1 and its value will be 11. So here if you print obj dot I, what will obj dot I print? Obj dot I will print 11, and this is the main concept. Clear? So this is call by reference. You will write all the definitions in your notebook. Now the next topic is pure function and impure function. Pure function, the function that does not change the state of an object is called pure function, and this function must return a value. What is pure function? That does not change the state of an object. What does it mean, change the state of an object? It means whatever is the instance variable, whatever is the variable in the previous class, there will be no impact. And if you have to make any changes, that changes must be returned. It means in this case we'll have to return a value and we'll use a return type function. Okay, so let us see here. First of all, here I am declaring a variable int I and void show int a. Okay, suppose we have to make a change, so we'll declare another variable int k equal to I plus a, and as this value must be returned, so we'll return the value k because it must be used in another function. Here cl obj equal to new cl. Now first of all assign the value in I, obj dot I equal to 10, or you can also use without any parameter so that your program will be simpler. And here I plus plus, just we have to show that is there any change in the value of I or not. I equal to 10, obj dot I equal to 10. Now system dot out dot println I equal to plus obj dot I. Okay, now call the function obj dot show, and if you are calling the function show, it is a return type function. So here an integer type value must be used, int r equal to, and this is a return type function, so there must be a data type, and the data type of show will be of integer type because whatever here is the value k that is being returned, and the data type of k is integer. Now first of all print the value of I here after calling I equal to, Okay, save and print. There is no value of change in I. Here I equal to 10 and here is also I equal to 10. What are you looking? There is no change in the state of object. There is no change in the state of object. State of object means there is no change in the instance variable of the object. So this is pure function. Here function show is called pure function. Function show will be called pure function, and this is the condition that pure function must return a value. And what should be the functionality of this function? That this function will not make any changes in the value of instance variable. Clear? So this function will be called pure function. Now what is impure function? Impure function. The function that changes the state of an object is called impure function. And this function does not return any value. So what will be the changes made in this case? In this case, instead of int you will have to write void and change the functionality I equal to I divided by 10. I equal to I divided by 10. Rest will remain same. Rest will remain same, only instead of calling in the structure of calling, change here. Now just compile it. Here I equal to 10 and after calling I equal to 20. What happened? You have, after calling the function obj.show, there is the change in the value of instance variable. This is called change in state of the object, because you are calling the function show and accessing the variable I using the object by using object obj. So you have made changes in the instance variable. That's why this function show here will be called impure function. And remember, impure function does not return any value. Clear? So this call by reference, call by value, call by reference, pure and impure functions, these are called directly in the board examination. You are not asked any implementation on these concepts. Okay now, so you just have to remember the definition and an example means a program on behalf of these concepts. Clear? Now we are going to discuss a most important topic for the board examination point of view and also in the school examination point of view, that is function overloading. Function overloading. What is the definition? If two or more functions have same name but different signature, then it is called, this functionality is called function overloading. Okay, if two or more functions have same name but different signature, this is called multi-line comment. How this will be implemented? Suppose I am creating a class CL. Here int I am creating two functions having the same name. Void test, this function is assigning the value of I directly, and we are creating another function with the same name, void test, and it has a parameter a. I equal to, it will initialize a by using its parameter, and void show system.out.println I equal to plus I. Okay, now close it. Class CL1 public static void main string AR, create the object of class CL obj equal to new CL. First of all, call the function obj dot test. What will happen as you call function test? Which function will be called? We have not passed any argument here, we have not passed any actual parameter here, so the function having no parameter will be called. And here is the function test, this function which has no parameter, so only this function structure will be matched, so here this function will be called and we will assign the value of I equal to 10. So if you print obj dot show, it will print I equal to 10. Now again I am calling second function obj dot test. Now pass a value 20. What will happen? Here are two functions test. First is unparameterized and the second is one parameter having one parameter of integer type. This time as you call this function test with value 20, the function test will be called having one integer type parameter, and that is this function. So this time this function will be called. Suppose here there are two students in class 10. One is Abhishek Kumar and the second is Abhishek Kumar Jha. If a teacher calls Abhishek Kumar, which Abhishek Kumar will be called? The name having only Abhishek Kumar. And if the teacher calls Abhishek Kumar Jha, come here, will be called Abhishek Kumar Jha, not Abhishek Kumar will come. So this is the main difference between Abhishek Kumar and Abhishek Kumar Jha using the title. So here is also the same thing. If you pass a value, the same function having the same type of variable, same type of parameter will be called, and if the function does not have its value, does not have any value in the signature, this will be called when we does not pass any value at the time of calling. So now call obj dot show, save the file. I equal to 10 and in the second case I equal to 20. Okay, so this is function overloading. Let us see some example on behalf of this function overloading concept. I think I have the program of this PDF. I'm just give me a minute. Oh. Here is a program. Here is a program. Design a class to overload a function compare as follows. You have to create a class in which the function will be named as compare, and you have to compare this function. You have to overload this compare function. As in the first case, what is the definition of compare function? Just I forgot one thing to give you the detail. Here is a word signature. Signature means number of parameters, comma, data type of parameters or sequence of parameters. Okay, if what are the criteria? The two functions must have the different number of parameters, or if the number of parameters are same, then there must be the difference in data types of these parameters, and if the data types are same, then there must be the difference in sequence of these parameters. So just take an example like this. Here I am declaring one variable of float type or char type, char ch. Here int I, sorry, int a, comma, char b. Okay, I am initializing I with a integer type and ch with b. Okay, in this case I'm changing the sequence char b comma int a, but initialization will be same. Two terminators have been given, remove one terminator, and if it is here, there will be no change. This time we have to print ch equal to ch. Now call the function. In the first case I am passing here 10 comma, character is written with single quote, and in the second case I am passing capital B comma 20. Compile. Look here, the two functions have been called. What happens in the first case? If you passed first integer then second character, then this function will be called first integer and second character. And in the second case you have passed first character then second integer, what will be called? This will be called first character and second integer. So this is signature. Signatures of the two function test are different. Now come to the point, let us do some programs. Void compare, to compare two integers values and print the greater of the two integers. And second compare is for two characters, to compare the numeric values of two characters and print the character with higher numeric value. Clear? So let's do the program. Okay, void compare two integer value int I comma int j. What is the function definition? To compare two integer values and print the greater of the two integers. So if I greater than j, system dot out dot println greater is plus I. Okay, else if j greater than I, then greater is this time j, else both are equal. You have already done this program in class 9. Both are equal. We are doing this program using function overloading. Now what is the structure of second function void compare? To compare the numeric values of two characters. So create another function void compare char ch1 comma char ch2. Now you have to compare the numeric values of these two. So declare int I equal to int ch1, get the numeric value of first character, and int j equal to int ch2, numeric value of second character. Now apply the same concept, same condition. But here greater is ch1, greater is ch2, both are equal. Okay, now call the functions. First create the object cl obj equal to new cl and obj1 dot obj dot compare. First I am calling two integer values 10 comma 20, and then obj dot compare a comma b. Okay, save the file and compile. It's compiling. Compiled. Now look here, the output, it's taking time. Yeah, greater is 20 and greater is b. So this is the case of function overloading. You have to create separate functions for different functionalities. Now let us see one more program. Write a class with the name volume. This time we have to overload for the function volume using function overloading that computes the volume of a cube, a sphere and a cuboid. Volume of cube, volume of sphere and volume of cuboid, everything is given. Now do the program. I am just making it comment, and I think I will send you the solution. Class CL void volume. What is the first case? Volume of cube, and volume of cube is side square, so int side int v equal to side into side into side, and print system dot out dot println volume of cube equal to plus v. First function complete. Now second is for sphere. Void volume. This time sphere 4 by 3 pi r cube, so we'll declare float, radius as float, float r, and float v equal to, what is formula? 4 by 3 pi r cube will take 22 by 7, or you can also take 3.14. So how to write? 4 into 3.14 f into 4 by 3 pi r cube. Here is formula r into r into r. So here you also implement r into r into r into r, and divided by 3. 4 by 3, so divided by 3. Now print. Okay, and the last is volume of a cuboid. For volume of cuboid you need three length L, B and H. Void volume int L comma int B comma int H. Int V equal to L into B into H, and print these things. Clear? What are you looking? In all these three functions, name are same but signature different. Here one parameter has been passed, here is also one parameter passed. In this function here is also one parameter passed, but the data type of two functions are different. Data types are different. This is signature different. And in the third case, number of parameters have been changed. Here is also signature different. Now create another class. I'm just going to copy here so that time will be saved. obj dot volume, first cube 0.3 centimeter or whatever is, second obj dot volume suppose 2.5, and the last case obj dot volume 2 comma 3 comma 5. Okay, now call 3. Here you will have to use 2.5f as float has been given here. Compile. Here the volume of all these three have been printed, calculated. You will calculate at your home by using the calculator or whatever you have the resources to calculate. So in this way we can implement function overloading, and this is one of the most important topic for the board point of view. But later on I will discuss the way of execution of function overloading in second term, when second term will start, because in board examination we can't make the function overloading program in the way that I have discussed here, but as in the initial case you will be confused if I implement the main concept of board examination. So you have to go in this way. I am also making the comment here. Okay, the program saved. I will send you its copy. Okay na, and this program also you will do at your home, and if you will be unable to do the program, you can see the solution. Okay, thank you.